Hello.
Hello, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Guess it's just the two of us tonight. Nick
Yeah,
is not going to be here.
yeah. Nick's on the road, so we'll cover for him.
Well, tonight it's kind of another lighthearted episode or a stream. We're going to talk about advertisements. Oh, some people might call these offensive.
Does that mean that we
Or
can talk about propaganda too? Then and
we can talk about anything. I mean, maybe they're sexist. Maybe they're patriarchal. Um, non-politically correct. There's even one that I'm just gonna have to skip over because it is blatantly racist.
oh,
We're
he said
not
the R
going
word
there.
in the first 2 minutes. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, what are we gonna do with Steve tonight?
Oh, gee, we can't even mention that word without.
No,
Mm.
it's getting pretty bad out there.
I know that's just silly. I mean, when you can't even mention something that you can't believe, how can you even refute it?
The people doing this, they struggle with the concept of logic. They do. We will get into that later on our channel.
Yeah. So anyway, I looked for some advertisements from the 40s, 50s, maybe even the 60s. And okay, this was a time before television. Most of these were uh, probably newspaper, well, more apt to be magazine ads. Remember, the radio was out there. Um, I don't think anybody's cataloged radio ads. Uh, there was probably poking a lot of fun in similar ways on the radio too, but I have no proof of that. Have no knowledge of what kind of ads that were funny and offensive, but not. I mean, during the time they really weren't offensive. They were
Well,
just poking fun, making people laugh. People, okay, it spikes in emotion, and people would remember it.
ads on the radio were kind of a different beast because the FCC had throughout that entire era had very strict controls. Uh, there were a list of words you absolutely could not ever say, much like on YouTube right now, which is a interesting parallel that people don't want to think about. Um, I mean, remember movies had the whole what did they call that? It wasn't like the board, but there was
The
this whole self censorship thing in the movies.
Christian Decency League,
No,
something
no,
like
no,
that.
no, no. This was an industry board that they put together, kind of to keep the FCC off their backs about things like
Oh,
swearing and nudity and stuff like that.
yeah, we're talking about the same thing. I don't have the right name,
Yeah.
but it was a bunch of Christians. It was basically Catholic.
Those
Uh,
Catholics, those
yeah,
papists.
Catholic group went together to rate things and keep movies pure. And so yeah, that's what kept the nudity out. Anyway, we're gonna jump right in here. So here's my first one. Yeah. Okay, so um this is a Kroger ad. The
Those
main one.
prices make me hurt.
You ought to be spanked for paying so much. Kroger's Country Club flour costs about 30% less. What's that? A 24-pound bag for 59 cents.
It makes me cry just reading that. I said, oh, this is flour. 20,
Darn.
24-pound bag for 79 cents.
59 cents.
The flour's down. Yeah, this must be something.
Oh, gold medal.
Gold medal.
Well, okay. They're comparing the gold medal flour. That cost 79 cents. That was, I think, General Mills
Yeah.
name brand flour. Or you could get the Kroger bag for 59 cents. You could even buy a 5-pound bag for 50 cents. 15 cents.
I'm
And
crying over.
A bottle of Kroger's catsup. A big 14-ounce bottle was 10 cents.
Oh my! Oh, the finance guy in me is just crying over here.
Yeah, okay. Oh, here's another one. If your husband ever finds out you're not store testing for fresher coffee, he discovers you're still taking chances on getting flat stale coffee, he will be on to you. For today, there's a source and a very certain way for freshness before you buy. Now, ladies, take note here. If you buy the wrong flour or wrong coffee, Chase and Sanborn coffee, you may find yourself in that situation. And then the one on the side, that's a different ad. That was for Sanka coffee. They showed us, cartoon image of a similar thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we like to think that the 1950s weren't like this. That men didn't. The Kroger ad was from 1938, but close enough. But guys, where do you think they got the idea to do this? What you see in ads kind of reflects on what is going on in the society at the time. And, of course, our modern sensibilities are aghast at the idea of taking, a adult woman and, spanking her like this, putting her across your knee, as they used to say. We're aghast at this, but the folks coming up with these ads didn't come by this on their, just out of thin air. This was part of the culture back then.
And, it's taking something ordinary and making it sexual in a acceptable way for the time. This wasn't meant to be, oh, he's actually punishing her.
She's smiling.
That's tongue in cheek. She's like, oh, how do you put sex into coffee? It's kind of funny, and they weren't as straight laced in the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s as we like to think they were, and the 20s. Oh man, that was over the top promiscuity and the flapper girls and
I'm planning an episode on this. We will get into the history of this. Particularly 20s, but even the 1910s to some extent, were where we have been culturally, that you guys who are watching us, be able to tie it to, was the really the 2010s, but pretty much really after the Great Recession to today is roughly about what that would map to. So the sort of rampant promiscuity that you guys are seeing today has been before in the United States, and there was a pullback away from that, particularly in the 30s. because of the history of the Great Depression, and people, it became socially beneficial for you to be viewed as much more straight laced, buttoned down, partly as a backlash to the excesses of the 1920s. So you brought that up, Steve, but
Yeah. Okay.
this is less. You are right. This is less than what would have been in the 1920s for sure.
The 20s were an age of sexual liberation. No, didn't go to most of the time, or not overtly went to intercourse. But they had things, they had a new phenomena called the cuddle party or a snuggle party. You can look this up in Wikipedia. It's an event designed with the intention of allowing people to experience non sexual group intimacy through cuddling. There were parties in New York.
If anybody thinks there wasn't sex involved at some point, they're mostly just lying to themselves.
But there was a lot of touching going on. And this was going on in the 20s. So keep that in mind, that they weren't that straight-laced puritanical that we think of. Okay, so we'll keep going with this theme. We'll move on to other stuff. But when it comes to making up, an electrical range is ideal, and it will make life a lot easier for you. Somehow, it's some power and light company used spanking in their ad. This was from Missouri. No, not the coasts. This was the middle of the country.
In 1972.
It's just,
I wonder if particularly in this 1972 case, a little bit of this is the shock value of it.
I don't know. I just laugh at this kind of stuff. Because, man, can you imagine the kind of trouble you'd get in if you showed this anything like this today?
You show that to. Okay, there is absolutely no way that ad makes it out of the mouth of whoever suggests it in the DEI departments of the modern ad agency. And if it does make it out of your mouth, you're leaving the building that day permanently. It's a great way to get fired for cause right now, which is kind of ironic given that a great way to get people to buy your product is to sell sex in other ways, women in slinky clothes. Like,
okay, I found another site. We'll go through this one. Some of these will show up again, and we'll just go through those. 25 controversial vintage ads that wouldn't be allowed today. Okay. Oh, Coca-Cola. For a better start in life, start cola earlier. How soon is too soon? Not soon enough.
goodness. Knowing what we know today, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, they promoted their products. I mean, even Coke got in on things like that. That was, the Soda Pop Board of America. Gee, I wonder who supported that. Where did the money come from?
Coke. Coca-Cola. Sure.
It's obviously a Coke bottle there. Oh. Do you remember when they used to advertise cigarettes? Even remember there used to be cigarette ads on TV?
Cool. The Cool Camel. The Cool Camel is the one that I remember growing up. Or the Cool and Camel. Sorry. I'm not a smoker, but yeah, I remember the Camel. I remember Cool with a K. I still remember this stuff. Steve, why are you dragging me through this?
Okay, so who knew that Santa smoked Lucky Strike cigarettes?
Well, so it's interesting you bring up smoking because the way there's actually a story about how they made smoking popular. I can't remember his name. I want to say Edward something. He came up with
Bernays.
Bernays, yes. And he came up with this idea, and it was like the Macy's Day Parade or something. He had this group of women marching in the parade, and they were smoking, and it was to prove that smoking was cosmopolitan, that all of the high life ladies did it. It's actually a form of propaganda. Edward
Well,
Bernays.
yeah. What was the name of the book that Edward Bernays wrote?
Well, he wrote a lot, like 20. The one of the books is titled Propaganda.
Yeah.
So he was for tobacco, he was Torches of Freedom, Green Ball. And so those were his two brands.
Oh, okay. Another bit of trivia. Who was Bernays' uncle?
I don't know.
Sigmund Freud.
Oh yeah, there it is. Right, you're right. There it is. Oh my goodness, this is
tying the psychological or psychiatry into propaganda and using it to promote tobacco use. Gee, this is interesting. And the familial ties in some of this. Gee, if I wasn't so sane, I could become a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, we like to use logic here, so conspiracy theories can get a little tough for us, but yeah, the story is actually here on Wikipedia. It's the first campaign. Let's talk about this campaign for American Tobacco Company, which is Lucky Strikes. I remembered it being Lucky Strikes. That's what brought this up. And his first strategy was to persuade women to smoke cigarettes instead of eating, and that actually works. As we now know, cigarettes they suppress your metabolism. They suppress your desire to eat. And so if you can stay thin on cigarettes, and of course if you ever stop, what a lot of particularly women, they just balloon. It's kind of sad. I've actually seen it happen in front of me.
Yep.
So yeah, but it was women that they went after. It was not the men.
The men were already smoking.
Yeah, they needed to grow their market share.
Right. So let's see what else we can find. Oh, I love this one. I got to blow this one up.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh. It's a good thing that this is on screen and you're not saying it, but
I'm going to read the ad.
Oh no. Here we go. Demonetized.
The more you play with it, I'll paraphrase, the more difficult it gets. You sit there, eyes glued to the writhing arcade quality graphics, putting and squeezing your joystick. Now you're breathing heavily over the digital stereo sound. Okay, now you're man, I can't read this.
No. I mean, technically, but
This is an ad for Sega. Sega.
Sega.
Sega. I mean, my oh.
And this would have to be late 80s. If you know
What
your
were they
history.
thinking? Maybe it was in Mad Magazine. No, Mad Magazine didn't have ads. It might have been in a racy magazine. This couldn't have gone mainstream. No way. Yeah, we got to get rid of this image.
So I'm actually looking through. That was that the Sega Genesis? Kind of looks like the Genesis, although it could be. But yeah, that's going to be late 80s.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Cute.
So, look at that trad wife. Oh, she looks lovely.
This is so early 50s. It hurts.
So the harder a wife works, the cuter she looks. Oh, this is for pep vitamins. And then the cartoon in the corner. The man says, "Gosh, honey, you seem to thrive on cooking, cleaning, and dusting. And I'm all tuckered out by closing time. What's the answer?" She replies, "Vitamins, darling. I always get my vitamins." I think this is hilarious.
Well, I mean, it's actually a fairly generic photo that they just cut out. That could be from anywhere. But yeah, she's all dolled up for cleaning. And of course he's wearing a suit because that's what you wore back then.
Right. But doesn't that image just capture the whole trad wife persona?
Oh, it
Right
really
now?
does.
Well, except for one thing.
What's that?
She's not showing cleavage. But trad wife comes on and does a internet stream or YouTube or TikTok. She's got to show cleavage. Or at least they think they do.
Okay, so but see, that's interesting because it shows that you can take an aesthetic, but they know that that's not the actual aesthetic that sells. So they instead go for the more sexualized aesthetic that they know will sell. So it's one of those things that you can use to say, you're kind of maybe not entirely grifting, but you know your audience and you know what's going to work, shall we say.
Gotta popularize it. And okay, here's another interesting thing. Okay, I showed the spanking ads, which have an undertone of sexiness.
Yeah.
So women still go for that sexiness, and now they have to doll themselves a bit more to bring that sexiness into the ad. And some of these might be too tame for them.
Yeah.
Too anti-feminist. They don't like their role. They want to be seen as a sex object. So you take something traditional, you take out the offensive theme, and you put in sexiness.
Right. So they take out the overt sexualness, but they signal through, because I mean she's, I don't see any cleavage there at all. It's it's just a standard
No.
like shirt neck, right? Um this is
But
how
they do show the apron has it's kind of folded so it shows her breast shape.
yes. Well, and most aprons have a tie around the waist, which I think.
Right.
I mean, you can say, oh, well, that's just necessary for the apron. Okay, but it does also do that for cleavage, guys. Like it. And now in the case of the trad wife movement, I think they're trying to. I think it's a bit of coded messaging. It's like, don't worry, guys. I still am that naughty. Ooh, I still am that naughty girl in the bedroom. I'm just covering it up so that it's not obvious. Because what does every guy
Kind
say
of.
he wants?
A garden tool in the bedroom.
Well, it's the phrasing goes, he wants a freak in the sheets, but
Yeah.
I forget what
Well,
the
for
opening
him,
is.
it's
Right.
same theme.
A lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets, right? Well, so what the trad wife movement is trying to sell men is, oh, I am a lady in the streets. See, I dress publicly, but I'm going to show off a little bit of extra cleavage so that you know that I really am that freak in the sheets. And what they're doing is they are actually advertising to their watchers that that's what they are, even when they're with other men,
Right.
which
So
is
you
fascinating.
kind of said it, but let me summarize. They took out the sexism and they put in the sexiness.
Yeah. Right. And guys, just because she's doing trad wife doesn't mean she's a trad wife.
And that was for Pep vitamins. It's a Kellogg's. I don't know, vitamins in the cereal or what? Okay, I don't know. Oh, we'll blow this one up. This was probably from the 20s, teens, 20s.
No, 1885.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it there. Cocaine, toothache drops. I would imagine this would have worked very well.
We do know that opiates as painkillers work very well with a laundry list of side effects.
Well, I've been around people who've done some things like this, and if there's a little bit of residue left, I have actually seen people take that residue and rub it on their gums. Yeah, I don't always lead a sheltered life. But hey, just for the record, I am a CDL truck driver. I drive the semi rigs. I'm drug tested. I don't do any of that stuff.
I'm not tested for my job, but I am a pilot, so I can be drug tested at any time at an airport just for showing up.
Sure. Okay, so what else do we have here?
Alcoa, that's a aluminum
I gotta
manufacturing
shrink
company.
this one down.
Oh, this is
Alcoa.
sexist.
So if you look at that, that's a bottle of Del Monte ketchup. And this must have been about the time that the aluminum twist top, I mean, that's a threaded safety seal, it has those little perforations on it.
It's going to be
And
the 60s.
they started using this in packaging. So they had to sell the concept. I don't know what would they have used on the top of a ketchup bottle before this? Steel tops?
Oh, probably probably, well, it would have been a glass bottle, so probably a cork type, something like a cork.
No, that would have been earlier than that. Aluminum. Okay, just think about beer cans or beer bottles. First, they had everything came in when it became single serving.
Now
went
you're
to
going to send me off
bottles,
looking.
bottles with a bottle cap, which is a crimped steel thing with cork on the inside. And then they moved on to cans, but they were steel cans. They were cone tops and it had some type of top on it. Then it evolved to steel cans, the normal looking cans. And aluminum came next after that, and then the aluminum can.
So it was just steel cans. It was just they just used steel for the toppers before they used aluminum, but they couldn't. So with aluminum, they could get that thinner metal, and then they could do like how you twist the aluminum top and it kind of cracks and breaks the aluminum steel.
Right.
You can't do that with steel. It's too tough. So it would have been more like well, you can still get bottles with it. The pop tops, that you need a bottle opener on like a beer bottle.
You can, but they made those threaded. But some bottles of food product will still have a steel lid.
Yeah.
It has a different kind of thread on it. And it's not really a safety seal thing. So basically, when you had innovation in products, you had to basically sell this innovation. And so women did the grocery shopping. So, here's something new. You got to sell it to women. So this is how they did it. It's something new. I know how to use the old thing. Do I know how to use the new thing? Oh, new means, I can open it myself. I don't have to wait for my husband to open it. Because we've all men and women. Have you ever had a woman hand you a jar and say, "Can you open this for me?"
Yes. I'm married.
Yeah. Okay. So, here's the Jason Sanborn coffee ad again. Oh. Anybody recognize that guy?
Well, to be fair, it says right there.
Yeah. I'm sending Chesterfields to all my friends. That's the merriest Christmas any smoker can have. Chesterfield, mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I'm so glad I never got onto the.
Oh, look at the bottom here. They even had special cartons.
Now, to be fair, you can get a lot of other stuff today that's like this. All sorts of candies. You can get us candies and cookies and chocolates. You can get.
But
it's a great idea.
Even cigarettes had the beautiful Christmas card carton.
Yeah, Elena's having fun in the chat down there right now.
Okay, what else? Oh. Might have to shrink this one. Oh, this is another one. Happy birthday, Dad. We know your ABC. Always buy Chesterfield. Always milder, better tasting, cooler smoking. Oh, look at that cute little boy. He's got a carton of cigarettes with a bow on it that he's going to give it to his dad for his birthday.
This is advertising heresy now. I mean, the concept of a kid appearing in the same ad as a cigarette is just, that's probably, somebody's probably will tell me that's illegal.
Yeah.
But okay, that's an interesting comment though.
Oh,
All
what?
of these
Oh,
all of these ads are trying to, they're targeted at making dad happy. That's an interesting observation. And that really changed in the 90s. It started changing in the 80s, but it really changed in the 90s. The idea that you shouldn't be doing anything to make the man happy. And actually now that you bring this up, Steve, they started with the of the things that made dad happy were the things that, like, we could actually point to and say, these really aren't that good for you. So they started with things like smoking, which of course we now know isn't that good for you. Um,
yeah.
and that seems to have been the tactic of us attacking men related stuff is, oh well, it's just not very good for you. Like it worked
Okay.
in the 80s.
But yeah, it was the man was the head of the household. Kind of that theme. And that carries through here. The chef does everything but cook. That's what wives are for.
Ooh, the misogyny.
So the chef is a fancy mixer made by Kenwood.
Back before they did radios, huh?
Oh man, this would. Can you imagine how happy your wife would be? You gave her something that would make her kitchen chores so much easier. Oh, men were so thoughtful back then. Look
Well,
how happy she is.
like, well, okay, but we've talked about this in the red pill. What have men spent the past 100 years doing? Creating tools to make women's lives easier. You've got washers and dryers and dishwashers and mixers and the list goes on. Yeah, of course she's happy. I mean, that's how they're going to portray it. But like, this is what we've been selling men for the past 60 years. Oh, just buy your wife this gadget and she'll be happier. Of course, that hasn't exactly played out to be true.
Oh, it's true. It is absolutely true that she was probably happy to get this because it made her life easier. Then a year later, oh, I just take it for granted. And then every subsequent year and her children, oh, a mixer. Yeah, well, everybody's got one of those. So there's no reason to show any appreciation or gratitude anymore because now it's just commonplace.
So one thing I noticed is that particularly in the 90s, it switched from gratitude over getting a tool that made your life easier to this message of, you just want me to stay home, work in the kitchen, work at, and vacuum thing. Because it used to be that okay, getting a vacuum cleaner would be good for a woman because it meant that she didn't have to go out and manually clean the rugs or whatever. Okay. But then, like in the 90s, it switched to, how dare you get me a vacuum cleaner and imply that I should be working at home?
Yeah, true enough. It's interesting how going through these ads kind of brings us back to a history of how people believed back then. Oh, I love this one. Can you read this one?
No, you cannot read that one. Sorry if you're just listening. We can't read that one. No
Uh,
way.
This is an ad for hot dogs. And a girl is using an what do you call that? A colloquialism? I'm not saying that right.
I
A
think
slang, what is today a slang term? It wasn't at the time.
yes. There's also a whole lot of metaphor in here and
I,
simile. I think.
do you think uh do you think it was present at the time this ad came out?
I
I doubt
actually
it.
no. I actually do think it was, but they could get away with saying it because it wasn't. It was sort of like a dark cultural, like, I mean, dark not as in, like mentally dark, but it was not well known. And some advertiser got a hold of it and said, you know what? I can get away with saying this. And it's messaging that the people who know this will understand and they'll get a good laugh out of it. And for everyone else, they're just going to read it as oh, well, we're just talking about the brand name. I've seen
So
marketers do that before with things in the modern day vernacular.
Elena, oh, I got to put this up. Your wife.
It's oh God. So do I need to go start the
No, no, I'm just saying I just want to respond to that. What woman wouldn't want this if it only cost her 15 cents?
oh, oh, Steve. Oh, wow. I didn't think you were going to take it there.
Uh, uh, we got to poke fun at this. That's what all these ads are about. Hey, we're all adults here, right?
Hopefully. I think I need to go mark this as over this stream is over 18 or something like that.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, this is a good idea.
Nicotime cigarettes. The smooth taste expectant mothers crave. Yeah. Any comments on this one?
All I have to say is thank God we know better now.
Yeah, they promoted a lot of things that really weren't good for you. Oh, here's another good one. This is must have been an ad in the back of some magazine. Learn to train your wife in 5 easy lessons. A free booklet shows you how. Teacher 2. Fetch your slippers and pipe. Massage your feet. Serve you ice cold beer and snacks. Sit quietly while you browse your favorite television stations. Respond to nonverbal cues such as snapping of fingers. Answer yes, dear, to any and all requests. Greet you at the door wearing nothing but a cellophane wrap. And to get this free booklet, you can write to the Committee for a Better America, 200 King Street, Washington, D.C.
Whoa. Wait a minute here. Steve, are you telling me that as late as the 1970s, the US government or somebody or some NGO related to such was actually telling women to fetch their guys' slippers and massage their feet and
Oh,
serve.
I don't think this was an NGO. I was just thinking this is some enterprising man came up with this name, the Committee for a Better America, and figured, hey, this is a good way to sell things. What? Okay, he's talking about all the things that men want. Okay, we're sexist. Pigs for wanting them, but uh, yeah, I still want all this stuff.
Well, okay, but what's interesting about this is I'm going to say this, and I hope people don't take it the wrong way, but even in the red pill, you can't get guys to put this list out. And this is 40 years ago. Well, okay, maybe 50, but this is 40 to 50 years ago. Some dude thought that this was that this was something and you could get this into, it looks like, a magazine.
Yeah.
How far we've fallen, men. We've become a nation of cowering. No, I can't say that word on. It's the favorite S word of the red pill.
And you know what? You think nudity is out there today. Hey, you know what? She's not wearing any underwear.
Yeah, good point. And
But
this made through the censors. Wow.
it's not overt, but it is very sexual and suggestive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
suggestive.
maybe they weren't such prudes in the past.
Shoe.
Okay.
Shoe. I can't put that one up on screen, but I hear what you're saying.
We got to show this to redeem. Oops. Elena says she's doing it for her husband, not for the clout. Yeah. Okay. Elena has been talking about how some women out there, are talking about things, and it seems so they can gain attention. And her point here is this woman is not in this ad, is not doing it for outside attention, just from private attention and serving her husband. Appreciation. Okay, well, we can all fantasize.
Yeah, with modern feminism, that ain't gonna happen right now. I mean, unless your
Uh,
woman is strange by modern standards.
okay, I'm gonna have to blow this one up. Oops. Okay, Lucky Tiger. Lucky Tiger. Oh, it's another cigarette ad. Lucky Tiger gets the gals. Okay, we got Linda, Lola, and Louise. They got the same breast shape, only different hair color. Amazing. Which one do you want? Oh no, it's Butch hair wax. Okay, I guess suave men just smoke cigarettes, but this is for hair wax.
Well,
Lucky
back then,
Tiger for crew cuts. Holds hair up where it should be up. Down where it should be down. Oh man. I like my up parts up and my down parts down.
yeah, this is one that I mean, this is just a fascinating look at the change in styles, because we don't really do as much with product anymore as a society. And I don't think it's having the perfectly coiffed hair is valued as much as it used to be. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I don't think. But what's fascinating about this is they advertised it in a, of course, sexual way. Here, men, use our product and you'll get the girls.
Yeah, let me blow it up a little more. I want to show
Oh,
you
no.
something else. Okay, look at the women. Look at their eyes.
Uh-huh.
They're all looking at the tiger. They're not looking straight ahead. If you're that guy, they're looking at you. Just a little clue or a cue. Oh, is this 70s or what?
This is so 70s. I mean, the hairstyle is 70s.
70s hairstyle. Tipperello. Should a gentleman offer a Tipperello to a violinist?
This is oddly specific. I'm not sure what they're really playing at here. And this might be some famous violinist of the time where they're trying to say you can get this particular violinist of our era if you offer her favorite, I assume, cigarettes. Is that what they're? This is oddly specific.
Kind of has innuendos of a phallic symbol. Offering her a phallic symbol.
Yeah. Oh, pretty overtly sexualized too.
Yeah.
Of course, in the 70s, that was more acceptable.
Yep. Okay, Lucky Strike cigarettes. Face the facts. Reach for a lucky when tempted to overindulge. Reach for a lucky instead. Okay, well, gee, your throat protection against irritation, against cough. Well, that's great.
Well, this is also we talked about it before, but this is also advertising about weight control, using cigarettes as a weight control device. And
Yep.
how there was actually a House episode of I don't know if you've seen House, but he actually he prescribed cigarettes, ironically, to a Santa Claus, a mall Santa Claus, for his irritable bowel syndrome. So like off-brand use of cigarettes is actually a thing you can do.
This brings back a memory. I went on a date with this woman. It must be 12 years ago. She said I reminded her of House. I guess sometimes I can have some cutting statements and whatnot.
Nah, I was gonna say it's either that or it was your beard.
Maybe both. Who knows? Whatever. Okay, I think this one might be the most offensive.
Can we even put that one up there?
Love's Baby Soft. We can scroll through this one.
Yeah.
That one, I just find that one very offensive. But this was from, I kind of remember some of these Love's Baby Soft advertise or the popularity of that. And it had young girls kind of dolled up looking like adult women. That's just disturbing. Okay, here is a Gillette ad.
Wait. Babies need razors now?
I guess. Okay, it's a safety razor, so you can let your kid play with it. Okay, you
Now,
know what? This is right after it came out. No stropping or no honing. So it wasn't the straight razor. You certainly wouldn't let your kid play with a straight razor, but this one's a safety razor.
yeah, I think this is not so much this particular ad is not so much about the kid shaving, but it is about saying it's safe enough for you to get. I think that's the association they're trying to make, which is a point. Not all propaganda is direct, guys. When you're being sold something, or sometimes the inference they want you to make is not, oh, babies need razors too. It's babies, even a baby can safely shave their face with this, so surely you as an adult will be able to handle this thing.
Okay, look at the top. Now we get to history lesson. Begin early. Shave yourself. Uh, how many people know that before the invention of the Gillette safety razor, everything they had the straight razors, the long blades, and you'd strop it. Stropping is rubbing the blade back and forth on a leather belt or a leather, yeah, it looks like a leather belt. And that takes it that sharpen that's just enough to sharpen the edge to a razor's edge. And for the most part, or much of the time, men did not shave themselves. They went to the barber shop to pay the barber to get a shave. How much did it cost? Oh, remember that phrase? Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Why do we have that phrase, shave and a haircut? Because men, for the most part, or a lot of the time, did not shave themselves. So this is encouraging you to buy one of these new devices, and now you can shave yourself. You don't have to go to the barber shop to get shaved.
And it'll probably save you time and money, and you can shave more often because you're not going to go to the barber shop every morning.
Right. We take we take a lot of these modern things for granted that, oh, it's always been that way, where most men were clean shaven. I don't think so.
Well, what's interesting though is because you showed an ad last week, and it was a clean shaven dude. Sure, we were doing the shoes episode, and it was, he was clean shaven, and the I don't know how they did it though, because in a lot of the pictures you see, the guys are actually clean shaven. The picture, like, I'm thinking, 1930s New York, even uh, like the iron workers were clean shaven. Now, there's actually a good reason for iron workers to be clean shaven, but um, that's I'd be curious how they did that.
Well, we were making fun of Coke earlier for giving uh, Coke to a young child.
Yeah,
Now
this isn't
look at
better.
this one. Coke
Yeah,
or 7 Up has the youngest customers in the business. Nothing does it like 7 Up.
yes, nothing like giving your kids 30 grams of sugar. An adult human body can barely handle that.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh no. Oh, Steve. Not not only is she kneeling as she delivers the food, he's sitting back in bed, relaxed, cool as a cucumber. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
but oh well, okay. The only reason he's wearing a tie in bed is because it's a Van Heusen ad.
See, even
Uh
I don't get breakfast in bed, and if she did, I'd probably yell at her because I don't want to clean the bed. But
This is pretty funny.
but breakfast in bed used to be such a common thing, though. Even my parents did it.
I always want to get up and move before I eat. I don't understand it, but okay.
Yes, but it used to be a very common thing, and it just kind of died.
Yeah. Okay. Why doesn't your mama wash? Okay, we're gonna skip. Oh, we're gonna skip that one. Those were
Yeah,
the
yeah.
yeah. We're not going there. Oh, heater halls, cocaine, guaranteed to deaden that sweet tooth. So it's candy, and it comes in horehound, kumquat, spinach, mushroom, poppy, and hemlock. Man, you get flavors.
Flavors of highly addictive substances. Yay!
What's it say on the side?
Get your kicks from lollipop.
Yes, get your
Oh
kicks.
Lord.
The candy that takes you on a trip.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Wow. Okay. You said something about how happy a woman would be with a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I did. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Christmas morning, she'll be happier with a Hoover. Look, she's reading the card that went with it. Oh, she looks so happy.
The design of that device is 1960s, early 1960s. If you guys, we're not recommending this, by the way, because if you do this now, they will probably be pulling your various parts of yourself out from different lakes and rivers if they ever discover you.
I would say it's completely opposite today.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Christmas morning, he'll be happier with a Hoover.
Oof. Oh, ouch. That hurts. That hurts, Steve. I don't want to think about guys doing that to themselves. Guys, don't you're not the girl in the picture. Don't let
No,
yourself
I was
become that
talking.
girl.
I was saying in the sexual way.
Oh, okay.
You know what it's slang for.
Yes. Oh goodness. She
Okay,
still
here's the
won't do that
last
though.
one in this stream. Okay, so we got a teenage girl here. She
No.
looks a little bit young. But my mother always told me to wear pretty panties in case I got hit by a car. We're not going to show that one very long because she looks a little bit young.
You're trying to get our channel taken down today, huh, Steve?
No, I don't want that to happen. Didn't she looked a little bit young to you too, didn't she?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah,
STP is, but
let's see. Let's see what it says. Yeah, it doesn't have a date on that one. But that was probably it kind of looked from the 70s.
yeah, that was 70s.
I don't, you know,
Well, in the 70s, you still had a lot of guys who were doing oil changes in their driveways. So that's, by the way, what
Right, but
STP
I
is,
mean,
guys.
this paranoia or strict limit on how you can show younger women underage, it appears that that wasn't quite so stringent. It I don't know. What do you think?
I think
Right
Shoe's
now, it's
right. I think
just
Shoe is
drives me.
right.
Oh no, can't show that. But it must not have been that way 40 years ago.
So Shoe
You
is
could
right.
actually show things in a somewhat innocent way that people didn't immediately rush to a bad conclusion.
So Shoe is right. Steve is a gambling man with this stream. Well, actually, I know it's Monday night and we're not doing our CCS until Wednesday, but the I do think that the prudishness was used particularly against products marketed towards men to more or less take them away from men. You can't say these things anymore. You can't show these things anymore. I'm not saying that particular ad was such a great idea, but now it's kind of like it was used to take things away from men because we want, and they've kind of whitewashed the history of that era. I mean, but does anyone really think that because they talk about the 70s as the sexual revolution, and it was, but
Yeah.
we talk about this era as if it was so prudish compared to today, and it really wasn't. Like,
Well, people have kind of been similar. In other words, people have always thought about sexual matters. Sex, in some manner, has always been used to sell products. Well, at least since advertising has been invented.
oh, sure.
And it changes with the times and with the sensibilities or perceptions. Those aren't quite the same right word, but you know what I mean.
Well, there's a contradiction here, though, because with the blue hair brigade, they keep saying, "Oh, you shouldn't objectify. You can't objectify me." The gym rat girls who are they're constantly filming themselves, hoping to go viral, catching a guy looking at them, and so they're more than willing to use a man's inherent sexuality against him, but at the same time, they parade around on OF, IG, basically selling their sexuality to men, and it's a weird contradiction that I don't think men have really wised up to. They're going to sell you their sexuality and then shame you for daring to look at it. And it's actually a way to control men. That's really its only purpose,
Yeah.
is to control men. And I think that's why you don't see the same level of implied sexuality from women towards men in modern advertising. Because if they did that, then that would be encouraging women, and men to some extent, to behave in that way towards their men. And they don't want that. They want the women shaming the man for being sexual at all, at the same time that they want to be able to sell their sexuality to men. And again, we're not big on conspiracy theories here, but you could make the connection that places like OnlyFans are the reason that they are so, for lack of a better term, protected by the media, is that they serve this purpose of convincing men to come in, do sexual immorality, and then they can hit the man over the head with his sexual immorality without ever addressing the inherent contradiction of a woman selling herself at the same time. I don't know. It's a weird thought tree to run down.
So, is our freedom of speech more restrictive now than it was 40 years ago?
Depends on who you ask. Depends on who you're asking about. Because I mean, I just got done saying that OF girls can parade around all over the internet. IG is open. It's an open system. You can look it up without even having an IG account. So if you want to go look at girls in bikinis, just girls in bikinis on Instagram in Google, and you'll get flooded, right? So in that respect, I'd say no, it's not more restricted.
I'll say it is more restrictive because there was a lot more sexual innuendo about dynamics and
Mhm.
suggestive things, but not overt nudity. It was veiled.
Yes. But I think that goes to the duality of what I was talking about earlier, is that it's okay for a certain class to exercise their freedom of speech in this manner. It's not okay for everyone to exercise their freedom of speech in this manner. And it's certainly not okay for men to look at such things, despite those things being extremely available.
Well, I've never been able to quite figure this out, but observing or knowing over time, uh, locker rooms. Okay, when I was growing up, um, as far as I know, the men's locker room or the boys' locker room and girls' locker room operated pretty much similarly. You had lockers and benches, and you had gang showers, and you know, yeah, sexes were segregated, obviously, but there was open nudity, and it was just accepted. And it was before my time, but I guess back in the day, the YMCA would have swim days for men only, and they would swim naked in a whole group of them. Well, and then and women were kind of the same way. And yeah, there was bullying and there was
Sure.
shaming and stuff. Probably not good. People are what they are. Boys, girls are what they are. So then I think the progression was, oh, we got to give women some modesty. So they went to segregated showers where they didn't all get naked together, and it wasn't this communal thing. It was, oh, you got to be private. Okay, now not even that way at a lot of male places. So we've gotten more repressive about, let's call it, innocent nudity. But on the other hand, we've gotten more obsessive about nudity on OnlyFans and things like that. And so now nudity has been taken away from just what happens and put totally in the sexual realm. But
Oh,
we're
yes.
kind of more obsessed, and now women are showing their nudity in the sexual area, but never showing it in the innocent area. This
There,
is
yes,
not
there.
fully developed thought, but I
No, there
we-
there is a
so
reason for that. There is an actual
okay.
reason for why you would do that. And the reason is, I don't know if you guys have used this term, or I've used this, or even I've used this term or defined it on the channel. It's called the noble savage. It's a 1960s French philosopher thing, but it goes back further than that. But the French philosophers brought it back in the 1960s, and it's this idea that humans are, that there is nobility in human savagery because they just don't know any better. And there is a concerted belief that says that we need to get humans back to that sort of noble savagery. And by pushing, by making things that were innocent into the savage, you can actually push people towards their more base desires. Guys, this I am very, very, very quickly summarizing what's going to be a 4-part stream. So, don't. There's a lot that I'm glossing over, but there is a concerted push to make humans completely to get humans to completely divorce themselves from anything resembling logic or reason, and to become the noble savage is, of course, a slave to their emotions, and that being a slave to your emotions carries an inherent nobility because that is your form that is most connected to the environment. And I think that's kind of what is the philosophy that's being pushed with it, is you are the most connected to your environment and your nature when you are the most overtly sexual. Does that make sense, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, yeah, society's become with sexuality, in some ways, we've become much more repressive. At the same time, we've become obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's both happens. It's like when you take a tube of toothpaste and you squeeze it to repress it. And then it spurts out and, oh, I got a mess. I mean, you can't repress something without it coming out someplace else.
That's part of it, definitely. But I think in this, that would require probably a little more overt thinking on the part of the people doing this. Um, I'm not.
I'm
I'm
not
not sure. I'm not sure
I'm
that.
not saying it's a motivation. I'm just saying that when you put something under wraps or try and repress it, it comes out. It can't actually be totally repressed. So it's going to be expressed in other areas. The more you
Right.
try and control something, the more people think about it and become obsessed with that what you're trying to control. And so it gets licensed in another area.
Which
As I
benefits?
said, it's not I haven't understood this. I observe it. I don't understand it exactly.
Well, it benefits the philosophy of emotionalism. It benefits the philosophy of breaking of humans as animals. If you push people to be more animalistic, if you repress things that make them not animals, and you're going to push them to things that are, just because their animal nature is going to come out. Like humans, uh one of we talk about this a lot in science fiction. What happens when you take a human and you take away the food? They become animals. Humans at the
Yeah.
end of the day are animals. And so it's like, I understand where the noble savage people are coming from. They're completely denying the existence of the neocortex, of course, but hey, minor scientific baubles and don't matter to people who are obsessed with these kinds of things. But
Here's an interesting thought from Elena. Another aspect of this. Sexuality for one man, your husband, is depressed. She
yep,
means repressed. Public sexuality is celebrated. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
kind of talked about that. In marriage, women tend to
Dry up.
over time dry up, withhold, but then they're celebrating elsewhere or after divorce or before marriage or maybe in infidelity what they're not giving to their husband. So,
Well,
yeah, you
how many
got
married
repression and obsession.
how many married women do you see out there who are posting all the bikini pics they can find of the vacation that the guy paid for? And so it looks like their lives, because social media, we get to control what percentage of these things are. Her life looks like she's just a bikini model for her husband. Guys,
You know, the
women,
answer to that is close to zero because
right.
I don't look for that kind of thing.
Well, okay, but well, Elena does, so I have to see everything that she shows me. But um, the point here is that these women have an enormous ratio of bikini pics on a beach to other things, and it gives the impression that these women are just they're living a life of bikinis, and they're and everybody knows they're married. So the it goes back to what we're talking about with the trad wives. There is a presumption that the guy is getting this girl in the bikini. No, he's not. Trust me, if guys, if you haven't been married, I can tell you right now, the women do not dress sexy most of the time.
Right.
They
So
just don't.
let's move on with our ads. This is great idea here. Sooner or later, your wife will drive home. One of the best reasons for owning a Volkswagen. What are we gonna see here? Oh,
Uh,
uh, you had a little accident there. Let's see. What does it say about this? Oh, I'm gonna go up. Women are soft and gentle, but they hit things. If your wife hits something in a Volkswagen, it doesn't hurt you very much. VW parts are easy to replace and cheap. A fender comes off without dismantling half the car. A new one goes on with just 10 bolts for $24.95 plus labor.
now, the interesting thing about this ad is that there's actually actuarial data to support this. Men tend to get in fewer higher cost wrecks. Women tend to do small amounts of damage quite frequently. And this is held true through an actuarial data that I've seen since I was first introduced in the 90s, and I was told by the people, yeah, this hasn't changed since we've started collecting the data.
I got to tell a story about my second ex-wife. Came home. She had a Honda CRV. She's driving her daughter to some track practice. Got a little bit close to a pillar and rubbed up against it. Now, I've done things like that. But when I hit something, I don't start at the rear quarter, hit both doors and the front quarter. This was a slow motion accident. Honey, you're rubbing here. How about you stop before do the whole damn side of the car? It wasn't that bad. She just kind of got it touched up, repainted, left the dents there because it was going to cost way too much money to fix. But yeah, it's like there wasn't a lot of sense here in what she did.
They can't feel it. They don't feel the car reacting to it. I can't explain it. Although I did see a video of F1 drivers. They tested the reflexes of F1 drivers, and the average person, if you just drop a ruler, they'll catch it in about 13 centimeters. The average F1 driver catches it in 6. And it's kind of
Okay.
like that. Women don't. they because it's a very so that sort of stuff is very sensory, tactile, real, right? It's a the woman isn't emotionally connecting with the idea that the car's getting scraped up. Like she's aware that something's wrong, but she can't connect with the idea that I hit something.
Right. Well, I understand that. I mean, driving a car, even more acutely driving a truck.
Mm,
All of a sudden, boom, you hear a different noise. What's
yep.
that? Or you hear a little vibration.
Yep.
Okay, what's going on here? And you pick up on it almost immediately. Okay, something's different. Something's changed. I got to figure this out. But yeah, that's
The fascinating advertising from Volkswagen. I love it. We need to bring this back, guys.
Oop.
I don't know. Can we show that one? Oh, it's a 7-Up
this is
ad.
bowling. It's amazing what you can do with just 2 fingers and a thumb.
Oh no!
And boy, oh boy, can you work up a thirst. And look, he's very excited.
Oh, the censors are coming for our channel today.
You know what? Hopefully this is veiled.
I don't know.
Oh, Warner's ad.
Oh no! Oh yeah, no. This is definitely going to get the censors coming for our channel now.
Okay, this is no. Can I show it from here? This is no shape for a girl. Okay, well, she's wearing shapewear and it had a pear on there.
Yeah, that'll get
Yeah.
the censors coming for us. How dare you say a woman is shaped like that?
No, it was Warner who said it, not me. Oh, but no, okay. Let's redeem ourselves. It's a wife saver. Get the range by Brown, equipped with soil-free oven. Oh, she looks happy because she doesn't have to clean her oven. Yeah. Every year, the chore of cleaning ovens claims the good humor of countless homemakers, not to mention the damage to hands, knees, and backs and busy schedule. Brown protects wives from these ill effects by making a soil-free oven for any budget. A soil-free oven needs no special wiring, no extreme heat, and it cleans itself while you bake at normal temperatures.
Steve, I want to point something out about this. Okay, so this is the mid 70s. The color scheme is the giveaway here. But if you look, it's talking about busy schedules. The 70s were also the era when women started becoming, I mean, it started in the 60s, but really didn't take off till the 70s, where women were starting to become more independent of their men. Right. And
Yeah.
I mean, because you had hormonal birth control and all of that was getting popular. So now the ads start talking about her busy schedule. Oh, you don't want to impose on her busy schedule. Now I'm sure the guys are going to read that and go, oh yeah, she's got the kids at school and the after school activities and blah.
Well, she moved into the workforce starting at this time. Think of her as your mother.
Oh no, they went there.
What's this about?
This is an American Airlines ad. And okay, this one over time actually kind of flopped. In part because one of the terms us pilots now use for flight attendants is sky moms. And the reason we say that is because an awful lot of these women are not young, shall we say? And they can be very Karen, for lack of a better term. And so this idea of think of her as your mother, like I get what they're trying to go for. This one has actually been turned into a meme in the modern day culture, and we'll talk about more about how serious things in the 70s have been turned into memes for the 2020s.
Okay.
That's an interesting one though.
Oh, another vacuum cleaner one.
This is the 50s.
Gladden hearts and lighten labor. Dow Chemical. Oh man, the wife is blindfolded. Look how proud her daughter is to show this new vacuum cleaner. Now this comes from 40s, probably the 40s by the look of that vacuum.
So Shu wrote this, and I think it's actually a good point. I love how ads of the past made you read the pitch field for people who don't use that term. Read the room. It'd be another way to say it. We're idiocracy morons today. We really are. Like a lot of these ads, in order to, I'm not say understand them, but to appreciate them for what they were, you had to be you had to be a little bit masculine, but also a little bit willing to just sort of not take things too seriously, you know?
Well, again, yeah, his point is perfect here. Almost a score of years ago, Dow undertook to produce American-made magnesium alloys, metal that is a full third lighter than aluminum. Okay, this is a vacuum cleaner made from magnesium, and it lightens the load. So yeah, you did have to read uh the what did he call it?
He called it the pitch, the field,
The pitch.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So Dow made vacuum cleaners. I didn't know that.
Well, vacuum cleaners, the vacuum, most people don't recognize this anymore because we're not taught this, but the vacuum cleaner, particularly in the 1950s, was actually a status symbol. If you could, if you had one and you can afford one, remember, we're talking the post-war era, right? The economy still hadn't recovered from the war yet. I mean, it was starting to, but it still hadn't. So if you could have, and everyone wanted to be in the vacuum cleaner business because, like with TVs 10 years later, no one had one. So you had to equip an entire nation with them because everyone wanted one because it was a status symbol.
Yeah. Oh, total cereal. Keep up with the house while you keep down your weight. Oh, not overly sexy dressed, but man, that's such a good woman look. Actually working in the home to keep her weight down. I just have to approve of this.
Pretty much, yeah. We got nothing more to say on this one. More of this.
I like the script on this one. Oops. I got it. Where is it? Okay. I think this was UK. Men are better than women. Indoors, women are useful, even pleasant. On a mountain, they are something of a drag. So don't go hauling them up a cliff just to show off uh, Drummond climbing sweaters. No need to. These pullovers look great anywhere. On the level, entirely fashioned of the purest, warmest worsted in a bold, clear shaker stitch. Genuine bone buttons. Okay. Yeah, men don't need no woman. Oh, look, she's hanging off the cliff. He's not even bringing her up.
Steve, the absolute misogyny here. Oh my goodness. How dare we? This is probably the 50s, judging by the styles. Early 50s.
Oh, okay. This one's gonna be funny. You remember uh back, I don't know, 70s? Nylons for women, legs?
Yes.
Okay, well, turns out they made pants too. Those are nice looking pants.
Well, okay. That took a turn.
It's nice to have a girl around the house. Oh, it's made from Dacron. Ooh, that's one of those newfangled products. Thought
Though
she
she
was a tiger lady. Our hero didn't have fire.
have to fire her a
Have to
shot
fire a
to
shot
floor.
to floor her. After
God.
one look at his Mr. Leg slacks,
She was ready
she
to
was
have
ready to have him
walk all over her.
walk all over her. Okay.
Wow. That one took a turn. But the hairstyle says late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, it was
And
okay.
1970s.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It
The
was
70s.
created by legendary advertising agencies Ogilvy and Mather. Okay, so I mean, these are not just sideline things. These are major ad companies put these together. Most men ask, is she pretty? Not, is she clever? Ooh, Palmolive. Ooh, this looks like what? 1890s, 1900s.
Yeah. Oil products were getting popular then. I'm not sure I understand where this one is going, but
I don't know. We could read it. But you know what? Most men still ask that today.
I know that, but we're not allowed to say that anymore. And even I've had to, even Elena sometimes struggles with this idea that women, because we hear guys say, "Oh, I want a woman who's smart." Well, there's a little bit of girl game in guys saying that because they know that girls want to hear that, but what the guys actually want is a girl who is smart enough not to screw up. They want somebody who's smart enough to drive, smart enough to take care of kids, smart enough to do groceries, but beyond that, they don't actually care. So there's
Yep.
an upper bound to how much smarts you need to have.
Okay, now this one is very important. Society simply won't stand for indelicate women. What do you think this one is about?
I'm going to say it's going to be lingerie of some form, but
No.
no. Okay.
As quick as a wink and a few sprinkles of Emmeline will guard your freshness and wholeness all the day long.
Okay. It's a perfume, I guess.
This is about body odor.
Oh,
You don't want to have
yes.
body odor. Yeah, because if a woman has body odor, she's indelicate.
No, that's true. That's an old term for it. That's not one we use that way anymore.
The wife to blame if she doesn't know these intimate physical facts. Ooh, look at his expression on his face.
Oh, no. Well,
and how ashamed she is.
we do know that scent matters, guys. We do know.
You know what? She should have used Zonite, feminine hygiene product.
See, here the advertising is more focused on a woman actually feeling ashamed of herself, right? For what she is, for lack of a better
For
term.
being a woman. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. It's kind of a self-cleaning thing. A little bit of occasional bathing, you're probably going to be okay. But no, they're playing on women's fears. Okay, even computer companies got into it. This is a computer? You bet your sweet telex operator it is. Wow. That's pretty high tech there.
So this is going to be late 70s, very early 80s. You can start to see the big hair creeping in there.
Yeah. But look at the size of that machine. Okay, no screen. Keypad, it's a big beast. Yeah, this would have been even
Well, back then this would have been small.
late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. So Datacomp, San Gabriel, California. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Weinberg. They're similar. It's like similar company. I think they were bought up by the same company as Florsheim. Keep her where she belongs. Where does she belong? I don't know. Oh, it's just in Playboy. Oh,
it's
look at
for
those
girls.
snazzy shoes. Those are totally 1970s. The
Yes.
colors, the platform heel. Oh, man.
Come on, guys. You knew shoes were going to come up here. You knew they were going to come up again.
Okay, we saw this one. Pep vitamins. Mini automatic for simple driving. Oh, I guess that's a Cooper ad.
It's a Mini Cooper ad, and automatic transmissions were becoming popular at the time because they're easier to drive, and women were driving more. This looks like 60s, late 60s, early 70s. And women were starting to drive more. People were buying second cars for the first time in history. The car used to be a family thing. If you wanted to go somewhere, you had to all pile into
Yeah.
the Ford, the family Ford, and go somewhere. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now this, we're gonna have some fun with this. Mom's on the warpath. New
I said this as a kid.
Why ruin the evening, mother? Housework on a hot day is bound to leave you tired and cross. To make the best evenings with your family, the best part of the day, try this pleasant treatment for nerves. Every afternoon, get into the tub with a cake of new ivory soap. Man, look at that. Father and son hiding from a woman on the warpath.
Well, this is interesting for a different reason, because we like to say that modern women are these battle axes that that they're constantly berating their men, and they are. But this ad is from, I want to say, the early 50s, judging by the style of it. And you're telling me
Yeah.
that women could get on the warpath and get angry in the what?
Well, they could actually make an advertisement out of this for ivory soap. Oh, and a beer ad. Blitz. Darling, don't worry, you didn't burn the beer.
Well, that's good to know. Burn beer sucks.
Yeah. Show her it's a man's world. Van Heusen ties.
That's
Okay.
that's that one
We
again,
saw
the
that
full
one.
one.
Would your husband marry you again? Palmolive. I guess it means you better stay clean.
By the way, that style is the early 1920s, headed into the flapper era.
Right. Wonderful spring cleaning offer. Lux. Oh, she looks so happy being a clothesline. Wonderful spring cleaning offer. Save what's that? 4 pence. This is
Yeah,
a UK ad.
Yeah,
D.
it's gotta be.
Yeah, they got weird abbreviations. Oh, this one's good. Please, Dave, Don't let me be locked out from you. Doubt. Inhibitions, ignorance. Okay. Often a wife fails to realize that doubts due to one's intimate neglect shut her out from happy married love. So this is an ad for using Lysol as a feminine hygiene product.
Probably not a good idea in practice. That stuff's pretty strong.
But it kills germs.
Yes, it does do that. Yes.
And it says, yet gentle. Okay, use whenever needed, yet gentle, non caustic. Lysol will not harm delicate tissue. Simple directions give correct douching solution.
It's so delicate you have to dilute it. Yeah, okay.
Well, circle the items you want for Christmas. Okay. Oh, yes. Oops. Women want choices for Christmas. Here's their choices.
Look at all the home appliance products here. Oh my.
Oop. When I change the size of this, it jumps all over. Okay. A stand mixer, automatic toaster, coffee maker, waffle maker, hand mixer, a skillet, some kind of other toaster, hot pot, can opener. Oh, yeah. What a perfect gift for a wife. An electric can opener for Christmas.
In modern day parlance, this screams divorce court.
Yeah. Ooh, does your husband yawn at the table? Oh, things a woman has to put up with. Yes, he won't yawn if you serve him cream of tomato soup.
What? Why? Huh? I yawn all the time. I work too much and don't sleep enough.
Well, try
Cream of tomato soup.
having your wife serve you some of the soup.
I'm good. It's mostly just salt anyway.
Good. Danger. Women's suffrage would double the irresponsible vote.
Uh-oh. Wow. We need to send this over to Rachel Wilson. That's where this one needs to go.
Yeah, it's a menace to the home, men's employment, and to all business.
The thing is, that is actually all. Particularly the men's employment. The data shows that was actually correct.
Yeah.
I mean, menace to the home, okay, fine. But it has been a menace to men's employment and to business. Look at all of the hoops that we have to jump through now to keep women feeling safe at business. That men used to smoke at work. They used to make very, very crude and crass jokes at work. They used to do hazing rituals. You can't do any of that now.
Okay. Now I want you to think. Use your math brain. Women's suffrage would double the irresponsible vote. What's wrong with that statement?
Well, couldn't some women actually vote before this, if I remember correctly, because they were property owners?
Yeah, okay. I'm just thinking, I said math.
Right, I know.
Let's say, okay, you got all the men could vote.
Yeah.
Well, theoretically. And half the men vote irresponsibly. So if we're going to double the irresponsible vote, that means an equal number of people have to vote
Yeah.
irresponsibly. And if we make all the women vote, and double that, that would mean, by implication, half of the women would vote sensibly. So,
Some women vote
no,
sensibly.
you're
A few.
not going to double the irresponsible vote. You're going to quintuple it or quadruple it.
Well, you're right. If all women, that's a you and your math brain.
You got to go through the math and say,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
If all women are irresponsible, it's a tripling of the irresponsible
Right.
vote.
Yeah,
Which, ironically, is actually kind of where we ended up.
Yeah. Is it always illegal
Whoa.
to non-alive
Okay.
a woman?
No. Okay, don't finish that.
I don't even know.
Pitney
Pitney
Bowes.
Bowes.
What?
Guess he's upset with her because she misused the postal meter.
Well, if you sent a lot of mail, that's how you sent stuff. Is you would have and then the post office would bill you later for it. I actually way back had to deal with one of those, a postage meter thing. It's in our case, we called them up and reloaded it.
Yep. You'll be happier with a Hoover. Another vacuum cleaner ad. Oh man, he's got all the accessories. She's definitely a happy woman.
Well, hey, to be fair, women love accessorizing, so you've got to show that the women they can accessorize now.
Yeah. Oh, 1948. Okay, it's the 40th anniversary of Hoover. Oh man, look at this. U.S. Department of State.
Okay, now Department of State, that is the federal government. I'm going to assume this is for during the war, but even still, this is from the federal government. Not this would be what
turns out gals are useful after all. Soldiers need our help. Gather round, America, women. Oh, wow. The State Department says women are useful after all. Who would have thought that?
Oh, how the times have changed 80 years later. And if the State Department put anything like this out at all, it would be the end of the world.
No, and they didn't say women. They said gal.
That's right. Use that slang term there, guys, just really rub it in.
Oh, we already saw this one. Women can open it. I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Steve, we've been at it for 2 hours.
I didn't think this one would take this long because it's just been really silly.
It's been silly, but we've pulled some interesting stuff out of it. And to be fair, we're going for lighthearted right now, mostly because we don't want to get involved in all of the yelling and screaming going on other parts of YouTube. But
it got a little.
Go ahead.
It got a little edgy there with some of these ads.
Yeah,
we had to kind of skirt some issues. Wow, that's
not what people were expecting.
Instructive in itself. That things that were easily thrown out there in the past now cannot be.
Well, and another thing, and Nick's not here, so, but I just want to throw this out there for the Christians in the room. Christianity and church attendance back when these ads that we discussed were being made and distributed was far higher than it is today. So all that Christian prudishness has done absolutely nothing for the church. And church, I'm not trying to make a causal link here, but my point is that even when church attendance was higher, this kind of stuff was more likely. And people will say, oh yeah, that's what led to the downfall of. No. that's not how that worked. I mean, we showed some stuff going back to the late 1800s, right? 19,
Yeah.
um, just being prudish is honestly kind of putting on airs of uh, morality. And Nick's not here to challenge me on it, so I'm not going to carry it too far. But
Right.
it really the point that I wanted to make was, look, you had higher Christian attendance, and you still had stuff like this. We tend to think of particularly the 1950s as this super Christian, super straight laced era. Yeah, sorry guys, the history says something else.
Well, I hope our viewers found this humorous.
I
We
do too.
touched on a lot of things. And you know what? If you go back and you look at things, it's going to bring up historical matters and you're going to view things in context. Actually, you can learn things from even doing a silly retrospective.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot about. I had no idea that the State Department was out there saying things like that 80 years ago. Because one area that the censors have done a very good job on is not bringing stuff like that up, making sure that we don't know that stuff like that was said.
Right.
So, yeah, guys, I'd say that the important reminder here is that, you know what? Just because things are a certain way today does not mean that's how they've always been. In fact, the one thing I can guarantee you, and this is something that I'm going to be talking a lot about going forward, is the future will look very different than your present. Just because things look bad and gloomy right now, it does not mean that they cannot get even more dark and gloomy, but it also doesn't mean that they have to continue that way and stay that way forever.
Right.
We went from this very the other thing is, notice the color palettes. These were very bright ads, right? We went from a very bright, the term they would have used was gay era, um, to this very dark and dour over the course of 60 to 80 years, depending on which era you're pulling from. Okay, you say, oh well, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. Yeah, look at how much it changed since then. There's nothing saying that we can't decide that, yeah, we're going to do something else now.
Yeah. Well, someday, about 60 years from now, someone will look back on what our ads and society looked like, and they're going to be laughing their ass off about
Oh
the
yeah.
things
Oh
we
yeah.
did now.
Things that we take so seriously. And that's the other lesson. Guys, try not to take everything quite so seriously. We just spent 2 hours laughing our asses off at advertisements that are, 50, 60, 70 years old. Somebody else is going to be doing the same thing to us in 60 years. So,
Right.
you know what? Have a little bit of humor about where things are, because we actually need that more than we need anything else right now. Well, Steve, I don't have anything
Okay.
else to say.
I don't either.
Uh, I do believe that Nick is leading Wednesday, but he's not here right now to tell us what that is, and I plumb forgot. So
Yeah, I don't remember either. It'll
so
be good though. It's always good when Nick leads.
yes. And Monday, I think you're up again, Steve. Sorry to put so much on you guys. I've been buried
Mm,
in this
okay.
4-part.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about Monday.
We had an idea. We had an idea, and you might have written it down, but
Well, I got ideas written down here. Was it what men are not doing?
Oh,
How are we
that
gonna save that one?
what meant yeah, that was one of them. And
Um,
I couldn't remember which one
yeah,
we were gonna do on November 4th.
I don't know. We'll come up with
Yeah,
something.
we'll figure it out. So, yeah, join us again on Wednesday for Nick. I'm sure it'll be his usual uh insightful and with a dose of rage on the side because we love Nick.
Oh, we love Nick. Yeah.
So, well, and with that, Steve, it was fun chatting with you this evening, and
Okay.
we'll see everybody on Wednesday. Bye.
Yes. Bye.